expectations. Remember that yesterday he said over 10,000 members of the South African National Defence Force will be deployed to the hotspot areas across the country to assist police during the local government elections. Let's now cross live to his speech.
Different contingents, POP, TRT, visible policing. Good morning, officers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, officers.
Good morning, Minister.
Officers, good morning.
Good morning, Minister.
Well, those that don't understand isiZulu will ask to next to do. Amasabegwelangeni. Those that understand isiZulu nesiXhosa will understand when we say amasi abegwelangeni. We are almost there, or we are there when we say amasi abegwelangeni. I'm really pleased to see you, and I believe that the South African Special KZN people will be glad to see you. General Mkhwanazi has given the numbers and the figures, statistics of these elections. The bed number, PC Mkhwanazi, that you gave is that 119 high-risk stations, which are more than the half, because there are about 272 high-risk stations in the country. More than 50% of them, they come from this province. So therefore, your job and your deployment has got an extra significance in this province. The next province will be Gauteng, but the province that leads with hotspots is this province. Not only leads on hotspots, this is a province that has killed more candidates. And Mamkonyeni, what we need to take care about candidates. Candidates have been killed across the political spectrum. For instance, in Maritzburg, Shangase is an EFF candidate. Mkhize here, eThekwini is an ANC candidate. Kwabe in Ward 17 in Zululand, Kwanongoma is an NFP. So you have an extra job of looking the lives of politicians across the board in this province, across the political spectrum. But also in this province we have some that have survived. We have some that have survived the assassination. That would be one in Gwatuguza, there is one at Tulundi, and then there are quite several of them in this province that are not staying in their homesteads or not in their houses because of the fear of their lives. That is what is happening. So in the province where you have to be double vigilant. In your double vigilance, you must make sure that you stay out of politics. Completely stay out of politics. Do your job. Your job is very much defined in the Constitution. What to do is to protect, to combat, to investigate, but it also emphasizes the point that yourselves as officers, you need to uphold the law and enforce the law. Just don't forget to do that. So it would be important then that you keep elections safe, you keep the movement of the material safe, and you keep the outcomes safe and with the integrity that they deserve. How do you do that? You do that by working with an IEC to protect the stations, help the IEC to make sure that stations are opened, to make the IEC that nobody, by the way, South Africans have all right to protest, But that right is limited, is not unlimited. How is it limited? You don't protest armed, but your freedom of protest should not interfere with the next person. Therefore, if people say they don't want to go and vote, of which we would love everybody to vote, that's fine. But they can't say they are not going to vote and stop other people to go to vote. Therefore, stations will have to be opened. Roads will have to be opened. Burning tires will have to be dozed off. And make sure that anybody that stands on the way of any South African that wants to go and vote, make sure that you assist that South Africans and you take away and you remove any form of a hurdle that blocks South Africans to go and vote. That includes the human beings. If they are on the way of those South Africans that want to go and vote, make sure that you remove those people. You give the space for those that they want to vote, respecting the right of those that want to vote, but also those that don't want to vote, you can't force them. It's their right, it's their choice not to. So it's important to keep the balance all the time. We are with the South African National Defence Force, which is very clear that the South African National Defence Force is not found on the polling stations. Decision has been clearly taken by the cluster, the JCPS cluster, that police will guard the stations. Police will work with the IEC to make sure that they are safe. But our members of the South African National Defence Force will work on those institutions, installations, and that critical infrastructure, like your port here, like your national roads, especially those plazas and where people they use their trucks to block the roads, especially the national roads. Make sure that they are safe, they are kept safe. The power stations and all others that are supposed to be national key points, that are in the hands of the South African National Defence Force, and all others are given the opportunity to work, the South African Police Service, to work on the stations. RTI is here, you monitor our roads, that nobody blocks those roads. I can see the metro is here, you monitor that eThekwini, because you are Metro of eThekwini, working with your counterparts, the SABC, you make life easy for those that they want to vote. Unfortunately, out of this 119, I think 95 of the high-risk police station, they come from this region of eThekwini. You go and work with South Africans, that they practice their right of voting. Thanks again, police, and all law enforcement that were there dealing with Umdoni issue. That issue needs to be resolved. Come today and come tomorrow. People must be given an opportunity of choice. They must do as they wish. That is also at Mkambatini. We know most of you will stay here at eThekwini, but we know you'll move to the north of the KZN, you'll move to Nongoma, you'll move to Olundi, where there will be issues, but you will also move to Umgungundlovu, Umsunduzi, where there are issues. Some of you will move to Amachuba, where we know there are issues at the places like Osizweni and Madadini. As you come there, do your job, don't get absorbed in the politics of that particular area. We are not there for politics, even if you are a political activist. Ngagini. ngoba ngiyanazi senayingena ipolitiki namalunga amabranch ayinhlangano ezithile vele. Not now. Your politics now ended with voting. Talking politics completely suspended, and make sure that you don't come to politics, you come to policing and the safety and protection of all people across the board. We are not there to protect some organization at the expense of some organization. You don't look any badge, you don't look any signal. Yours is to make sure that you protect all South Africans. You don't take over police stations. You allow IEC to lead you and allow IEC to seek the support from you. You don't take over. Elections in a true democratic and ideal situation should not be looked after by security forces. It should be an independent, a very free activity done by South Africans or the nationals of that particular country. But here we have this situation. Make sure you don't hinder the voting, you don't hinder the process, you don't hinder the individuals that they want to go there and practice their right, democratic right of voting. So I'm glad to see you. As we part ways, we are saying to South Africans, please respect the law and please obey the law, and you yourselves please obey the law and uphold the law. But at the end of the day, you are instructed to enforce the law if those people don't listen, if those people don't want to obey the law. So you walk tall, behave, be good, put hope in South Africans, make sure that they are happy to see you, don't frustrate them, don't make them feel bad about you. Wherever you go, put hope. Wherever you go, when they see you, when they see any one of you, any category of you, they must say, we are safe. They must be able to call on you. Please respond and assist them. You are there for that. So, fellow officers, the time has come. We're in the middle of it, but the culmination of the situation is tomorrow. Make sure that nobody sleeps on the job. Make sure that things don't go wayward while we are there. You are sent there to make sure that the situation goes accordingly. Therefore, you go and make sure that South Africans get what they deserve, and what they deserve is provided by you on behalf of the nation. Thank you very much. I wish you so well that you go there and make sure that you are a good omen, you are a flower-smelling officers, and everybody is happy and loves you, and please love them too. Thank you very much.
Police Minister Bheki Cele showering praises to his officers and giving them words of hope and words of encouragement, and assuring them that he will give them all the support as it deploys them to the various voting stations in Durban and in the entire KwaZulu-Natal. And they will be assisted by about 10,000 members of the South African National Defence Force to the hotspot areas in different parts of KwaZulu-Natal as voting will get underway tomorrow. And it will be quite interesting whether these officers will also be deployed to Umkambatini municipality, wherein about 8 voting stations were not able to open yesterday. In fact, we spoke to our reporter just a short while ago, Mlodi Hadebe, who says that some of these voting stations were still closed by some people. Well, nobody knows at this particular point who they are, but we've seen padlocks hanging from the gates of those voting stations. So it'll be quite interesting to know whether these police officers that have been deployed by Police Minister Bheki Cele will be able to solve that impasse, ensuring that people vote. People are given are allowed to exercise their democratic and constitutional right to vote. This is Morning